Just answer the questions. You going to kiss me or arrest me?
Mr. Jimmo Collins.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
What are you doing? Danny's the old fella. Your man with the tattoo shot him.
I understand you were responsible for the heist at the Scoble building.
One thing that the Getaway does really well is it blurs the distinction between a game and a film.
A big ambition for the game was to play with the players' expectations.
We're playing very much with time again in this game, but I think we've taken it to another level.
We show the player elements of what could potentially be the end of the story, intercut with thoughts and imagery from the character's past.
So you're almost playing flashbacks, if you like, not just seeing them.
This was a massacre.
Essentially, what we're doing is telling a story and creating an experience.
A hard-boiled cop fighting demons from his past, Sergeant Ben Mitchell of the SO-19 Specialist Operations Team is about to take to the streets and find himself in the middle of a heated war.
He's a policeman, he's a professional copper, he's got army training, so he's very much about upholding the law and working within the boundaries of the law, and when he breaks the law, there are repercussions.
We start the story, his first day back in the job after 2 years. He was expelled or suspended from the force. We see a flashback into his past where he shot a teenager in the back. And this is something that's grated on him quite a lot.
As the story progresses, he investigates with his squad of S19 officers incidents that are happening across London.
He's the kind of guy that will make you nervous because he's not speaking, but when he explodes, he really does explode.
Calm down, Mitchell.
Crime rules the streets. New gangs emerge until a botched robbery ends with an entire dead crew save one. Boxer Eddie O'Connor is about to be pulled into the fight of his life.
And suddenly the game will completely change and we wake up in a cellar, and this is boxer Eddie O'Connor, who is from a recognisable world of the Getaway. He's all about gangland, he's all about the East End.
It's more about using that kind of that pub or barroom brawl style combat.
He's the kind of guy that you really want to get to know down the pub and have a pint with, but also he's got this lovable side that can turn quite violent because of where he's from, because of the kind of guy he is, and he likes getting in a rut.
With his mates dead, Eddie finds an ally in Sam, a small-time thief and computer hacker who helps him seek revenge on those who have wronged him.
The third character is completely the opposite of both of these two. She brings in the feminine aspect of the game.
Rather than being brutal and confrontational, she was more about sneaking shadows, getting up onto high beams and watching the play, or being underneath tables and watching the enemies move around and then sneaking past.
She's only young, but she's got a mad ambition, and she thinks she's going to be a criminal mastermind, if you like.
Prepare to be riveted to the screen in this epic gangland drama that intertwines with twists and turns all the way to the explosive conclusion.
Stop where you are!
Obviously, if you're writing a movie, you're thinking just about story arc. But with the game, you're thinking about very much what the game player wants to see, what the game player wants to be involved with. And this time round, we decided on the themes we wanted. We knew we wanted London again. London's our star of the show, if you like.
And once that started solidifying into a narrative flow, we got actors involved. They went through a full casting, and that further refined the script and further refined the kind of characters we had in the game. We went through about 100 actors to find the perfect matches to these characters.
Real actors, real facial expressions, and film-quality performances immerse the player in a gritty, cinematic tale of revenge.
image metrics who provide facial motion capture, so that our animators can then concentrate on performance. So when they're doing the motion capture, not only do they have like the motion capture suits, in fact they have optical motion capture and magnetic and data gloves, but they also have a video camera filming their face and a mic recording the voice. So not only are we capturing the movements, but we're capturing the whole performance, from the lip sync, the facial expressions, and all the expressiveness of their voice. So if they're doing something physical or they're having an argument or something, that really comes across. It's much more of a true performance rather than a guy locked in a studio with a script in his hand.
In the fight of your life, the smallest mistake can be fatal. With complete player control, your life is literally in your hands.
We weren't happy with just recapturing the motion capture. We wanted to go a bit further with the player controls. We wanted to be able to pick up every little nuance of what the player was doing. So to do that, we had to go to the heart of the animation system. We rewrote the core blending function. So every animation you see on screen is actually a composite of many animations. I think quite often we're hitting 16 separate animations.
Additionally, we've added the health into that. So if you imagine you can go from 0 to 100 health and 0 to 100 speed, at any point, depending on where the stick is, depending on how many shots you've taken, you can be on this little graph and have a very, very smooth motion. So you feel a lot more in control of the player feels a lot more realistic.
Evading the authorities will be a much more engaging experience with the overhauled AI. Sporadic ambushes, explosive booby traps, and high-speed chases all led to the game's hyper-realistic feel.
This time round, the AI has access to a lot more of the player characters' moves, so they can do things like crouching behind walls, like stealthing around corners, creeping underneath walls, maybe doing the jumps as well.
We've reworked a lot of our driving AI, and we've incorporated a new technique we call smart driving, which allows our AI vehicles to travel at very high speeds through the busy, congested streets of London.
The game also rolls out enhanced physics to improve the dynamics and handling of several vehicles, including buses, taxis and vans. But this time around, there's a new toy in town, motorcycles.
I think the motorbikes are the biggest new addition to the game. I think they really add a new dimension to the driving experience. The ambition for us in adding motorbikes was to kind of give the player a completely new feeling to being on the streets. Being on a motorbike and weaving through big double-decker buses. When you're on a motorbike, you can access things like pedestrian ways, areas that will be blocked off for the main traffic. You're allowed to access, so you may be able to lose the cops there, you may be able to find little kind of secret places, to find hidden cars, hidden motorbikes, or hidden accessories, as in guns.
Be prepared to be transported to another side of London, a side that's much more dirty, gritty, and real than just the touristy locales.
You play as Mitch, as the police officer, and you're called there very much in a kind of emergency. The scrapyard's a front for a dodgy car business, but you're working your way through the kind of legitimate front to get at this person at the back. Doing the photo shoot was dangerous enough. I mean, there were the people showing us around the scrapyard were really reluctant to take us to certain bits. It's dangerous, cars fall off, and the petrol tanks explode for no good reason. This is real life. So as a game location, obviously it's got a lot of scope.
Move to the right. I see 3 mile, black trousers and vest, carrying a bag.
The Underground's great because you start off and you're in the CCTV room for the cutscene and you see something on the platform king off, but you can't get there yet. So you have to use the whole of the back stairs and the back ways into the platform that only the station manages. You're not just getting the public view of the Underground. The end of the level will take you onto the train. So then you've got to use the train and obviously be very aware of the people that are on that train, because you're a policeman, you can't just go firing madly, but you've got to get someone that's heading towards the front of the train. So it's really exciting, very tense.
The Getaway Black Monday takes you into a shadowy world of desperate men in desperate times. A world from which the only escape is an explosive ending that twists and turns, leaving a heavy imprint on your heart and soul.